Hi everyone, thank you for joining me in this lunchtime webinar today. Now, before we dive in, let me provide you with a bit of background about myself. I'm Rebecca and I'm one of the lecturers from DAS Academy. I have been with DAS for about a decade, working closely with learners of all ages and backgrounds. And throughout my career, I've had the privilege of witnessing the incredible impact that understanding and developing executive function skills can have on a person's ability to learn, grow, and succeed. And as such, I've decided to pick this topic for my webinar. So let me talk about this topic a little and why it is so crucial. We all know someone, whether it's a student, a co-worker, a family member, or even ourselves, who have struggled with memory, organization, and planning. So the good news is there are strategies and techniques that can help us or those we care about overcome these challenges and excel in both our personal and professional lives. So during our time together today, we'll explore what executive function is in brief. So executive function, EF in short, and we're going to focus on one of the key EF skills, which is memory, and most importantly, learn some practical strategies and tips to support learners with poor memory. I want to make this webinar as interactive and engaging as possible, so please feel free to ask questions using the chat or Q&A features. I'll have a short Q&A session at the end to address any specific questions that you may have. All right. So I'm going to share with you what executive function is in brief, and I'm going to describe it as the pilot of an airplane. So I'm going to use the metaphor pilot of an airplane to describe what EF is. Just as a pilot is in control of the aircraft, making decisions, ensuring a smooth journey, and reaching the destination safely, executive function is the mental pilot of your brain, overseeing and guiding your cognitive processes to help you navigate life effectively. So here how it works. A pilot is responsible for flying the plane, taking off, navigating, making decisions during the journey, and landing safely. And similarly, executive function is in control of your cognitive processes, which includes planning, decision-making, problem-solving, and goal-setting. A pilot uses instruments and coordinates with air traffic control to chart the course and to ensure the plane stays on track. So executive function guides you in setting goals, planning your action, and keeping your life on course. And pilots also make real-time decisions, such as adjusting to changing weather conditions or air traffic. And executive function enables you to adapt to changing circumstances, make choices, and problem solve on the go. And safety is a pilot's top priority, and they take steps to ensure a safe journey. Similarly, EF helps you manage risk, avoid impulsive decisions, and prioritize safety in your daily life. So a skilled pilot ensures a smooth and comfortable flight for passengers. Executive function aims to provide a smooth and efficient journey through life by managing your cognitive processes and reducing turbulence in your decision-making and actions. So this metaphor actually helps you to convey that EF is the guiding force that ensures you reach your desired destinations in life safely and efficiently, just as a pilot is responsible for guiding an airplane to its intended endpoint. So as you can see, there are several EF skills, and each of them is important and are linked to one another. So in today's session, we'll be focusing on a key EF skill, which is memory. And memory is like the aircraft's navigation system. So just as a pilot relies on the navigation system to remember flight path, waypoints, and crucial information, memory is the executive function skill that allows you to store, to retrieve, and utilize information to make informed decisions and accomplish tasks. So we're going to see how it's going to be relevant to our learners, right? Now, to understand how our brain works in relation to memory, and how it functions for a forgetful learner involves delving into the complex processes of memory formation, storage, and retrieval. So I'm going to explain to you of these processes and how they work for someone who is forgetful. Okay. Memory formation begins with encoding, where the brain receives and processes new information from our experiences. So this information is initially stored in sensory memory, which holds data for a very brief time. So the information that is considered important or relevant gets transferred to short-term memory. And this is like the brain's working memory, which temporarily holds data for immediate use. So if the information is deemed valuable and needs to be retained for the long term, it is then encoded into the long-term memory, which is a more permanent storage system. In the long-term memory, information is categorized and organized into different types of memory. So it's very organized. So we organize it in like procedural memory, which is skills and habits, such as like riding a bike. Then we have the semantic memory, which stores general knowledge like facts, concepts, and even vocabulary. And episodic memory, this relates to personal experiences and events. So how do we retrieve this memory when we need? So when we want to retrieve information from our memory, the brain searches for it using cues or triggers. And retrieval cues can be anything associated with the memory, like words, images, or emotions. So the brain retrieves information by reactivating the neural pathways that were created during encoding. And these pathways connect various regions of the brain. So the ease of retrieval depends on the strength of these neural connections. Stronger connections lead to easier recall, while weaker connection can result in forgetfulness. So our job as someone who wants to support a learner, a very forgetful learner, we want to help them to make these strong connections. All right. So in summary, just as a bucket with small holes loses water, a forgetful learner can have difficulties retaining and recalling information. The holes represent memory lapses or forgetfulness, and the water represents the knowledge or information. So this helps to illustrate how information can actually leak out of the learner's memory, highlighting the challenges faced by forgetful learners in retaining what they have learned. So if you look at a forgetful learner, all right, how it works, forgetful learners may have difficulty with encoding information effectively. This could be due to various factors such as inattention. When there is no attention, there is no retention. So it could be due to inattention, it could be due to stress, or a lack of proper encoding strategies. In short-term memory, forgetful learners might struggle to hold and manipulate information, which can impact their ability to grasp and understand new concepts. And transferring information to long-term memory may also be problematic for these learners. They might not encode information deeply enough or organize it effectively, making retrieval challenging. And these learners often find it hard to retrieve information when needed. Weak or disorganized neural connections can result in difficulties recalling facts, details, or experiences even when they are familiar with the topic. So it's important to note that forgetfulness can be caused by various factors, including cognitive challenges, emotional stress, and poor memory strategies. And therefore, it is important as an educator and a parent to help learners to form stronger neural connections by organizing and presenting information in a meaningful way so they see its relevance. So I'm going to share with you some simple yet effective strategies that might help learners who have poor working memory. Poor memory in general, right? Associations. I'm not sure whether you all are familiar with associations. Associations can be a powerful tool for remembering words, especially when it comes to vocabulary or language learning. So I'm going to share with you an example on how to use association to remember meanings of unrelated words. I'm going to use this example, all right? Carnivore. So if let's say you're trying to get the learner to understand the meaning of carnivore and herbivore, the difference. So carnivore, all right, what I want you to do is to imagine a fierce, hungry lion, all right, with sharp teeth and a ferocious expression. So you create an association. So you think of the word carnivore and you associate it with the vivid image of the lion. So you picture the lion hunting and eating meat. While for the word herbivore, you picture a gentle, peaceful cow happily grazing in a lush green meadow. So here you associate the word herbivore with the image of the contented cow peacefully munching on the grass. So when we want to recall the meaning of these words, you can simply visualize the lion and the cow, and it will trigger your memory of the words. So lion, which is the carnivore, meat eater, while cow herbivore, plant eater. So this association technique helps you remember the meanings of carnivore and herbivore by creating strong mental images and connections between the words and their definitions. It's an effective way to enhance vocabulary retention and recall. Similarly, this is another example of association. It's called the links strategy, which helps learners to make associations with a new word. So links, L-I-N-C-S, each of it represents a particular definition or a row. All right. L represents listing a definition, all right, a student-friendly definition. So if let's say the new word to be learned is abolish, the definition is to get rid of something, right? A student-friendly definition. So we list the word and its meaning. I represents identifying a reminding word. This should sound almost similar like the actual word that you're trying to teach. So in this case, we are going to use the word polish to remember the word abolish, all right? N is to note a linking strategy. So this needs to link the meaning to its reminding word, right? So to get rid of something, the reminding word is polish. And C is to create a linking picture, all right? C is to create a linking picture to represent this information. And S is to do a self-test to ensure learners are able to remember, right? So I'm going to share with you how you can do this. So you can use a card, you fold it into half, and as shown on the slide, you can write the actual word and the reminding word on the front of the card, all right? So abolish is the word that I want to teach my child, and polish is the reminding word. So this is the front of the card. And the student-friendly definition is to get rid of something. So we're going to write it at the back of the card like this, right? So to get rid of something, and then you write down the linking story, which is I threw the purple nail polish away because it was so awful. So the linking story demonstrates to get rid of something. And I'm going to have a picture, create a linking picture showing that I'm throwing away my purple nail polish. So for self-test, you can get the learners to do a forward and backward test following the steps listed here. So you get them to read the new term aloud, which is abolish, get them to say the reminding word, which is polish, and to think of the linking story. So in order for them to retrieve the linking story is to imagine the image of the dustbin and the purple nail polish. So I threw the purple nail polish away because it was so awful. So the backward test is to think of the linking story, which is I threw the purple nail polish away because it was so awful. That helps them to remember the word, to highlight the reminding word, which is polish, and it links them to the new word, which is abolish. So this is another way to get students to remember new words, right? Now, if you have several information that's presented to the learners, chunking method help learners to remember things better by sorting them up and by organizing them in a meaningful way. Okay, so let's say I have this list of words. All right, so initially when this list of words are thrown to you, you may find it a little difficult to remember all the words and say it in order. So chunking method is to really group these items, all right, whichever words that are listed, into smaller related categories like this. So I'm actually grouping them into 3 broad categories: school supplies, nature, and furniture. And I'm actually sorting the words that were presented earlier into these 3 broad categories. Thereafter, we create meaningful association. So we are going to create association for each category. So I'm going to show you how we can do that. So for school supplies, imagine a student at a desk with a pen, globe, laptop, and a backpack, and all essential school supplies. For nature, all right, you visualize a sunny field with a banana tree, a blooming sunflower, an elephant, and penguins waddling around. And for furniture, you picture a cozy living room with a chair, a guitar leaning against it, a bicycle propped up in the corner, and an open umbrella near the door, for example. So then, with this association, you get the students to recall the list. So when you need to recall the original list, think of the meaningful associations that you have made: the school supplies, the nature, and furniture. So this chunking technique transforms a long and unrelated list of items into manageable groups with meaningful associations. It simplifies the process of remembering and retrieving the information, making it easier to recall the original list. Right? Mnemonics. So for words that students have continuing difficulties in to spell, especially those with repeated letters and sight words, you may use mnemonics to help them remember it. So I'm going to share with you some examples. For example, over here, big elephants can't always use small exits is to spell the word because. This mnemonic helps remember the spelling of the word because. Each word in the sentence corresponds to a letter in because. So B-E-C-A-U-S-E. Right? Principal. Right? The mnemonic actually helps distinguish between principal, which is the head of a school, and principle, which ends with the letters P-L-E, which is a fundamental truth or belief. So it helps them to remember that when it's referring to a noun, the person, it's actually spelled as P-A-L. Right? Another very commonly misspelled word is separate, where the students usually replace the A with the E. So here you can say there's a rat in separate. So what you're trying to do over here is you're trying to get the child to link something that they already know how to spell to something that they have difficulties to spell with, from a known to an unknown. Right? Over here, usually students have difficulties to remember whether is it one S or two S's or two C's. So here, a good way to remember is to have a linking sentence, all right? One collar and two sleeves indicates that it's one C and two S. All right? So similar for the word occasion. There are two celebrations in occasion to indicate that there are two C's. So these are just some examples. These help learners to spell the word and to remember the spelling in an easier way. All right? So what can teachers actually do to help forgetful learners? Now, teachers play a very crucial role in supporting these learners and helping them succeed in the classroom. I'm going to share with you some strategies and actions teachers can take to assist these learners. Visual aids, using visual aids. Now, you can use visual aids such as charts, calendars, and visual schedules to provide clear visual cues for tasks, assignments, and deadlines. This actually really helps students to go back to that visual aids to help them to trigger their memory. All right? Providing frequent reminders help them as well. So you can offer reminders for assignments, tests, and important dates. And these reminders can be provided in writing, verbally, or even through digital tools. Right? You can also chunk information. You can break down complex information into smaller, manageable chunks, and this approach can make it easier for forgetful learners to process and remember the material, right? You can give clear and consistent routine. So you can establish a predictable daily routine with clearly defined schedules and expectations. So this structure can help forgetful learners anticipate what's coming next and reduce their anxiety too. Spaced repetition. So you can incorporate spaced repetition techniques into lessons and review sessions. You can revisit and reinforce material over time. This can actually enhance their retention. You are giving several opportunities for overlearning. So let me give you an example over here. A very simple study strategy, which is called the 10-24-7. So 10 refers to 10 minutes, which is getting the students to rewrite notes 10 minutes after class and to merge with reading assignments. So you could actually, assign it as a task after class task. So that means the moment you have taught something new to the students, to get them to give them about 10 minutes to write down notes in their own words. All right. So you could also, for students who are struggling to write it down, they can also do a voice recording. It's just to summarize what you have taught them for the lesson within 10 minutes. And then 24 refers to 24 hours, which is one day. You review notes one day after the class, right? And then 7 refers to 7 days to review notes 7 days later and be assigned to help a peer to see how much they have retained in their memory, all right? So that's spaced repetition. And lastly, multisensory learning. So as I mentioned, when there's no attention, there's no retention. So multisensory learning helps learners to engage all their senses, and you're activating their senses, which helps them to pay attention, which is the first step to learning. So you can incorporate multisensory modalities in lessons. Combining visual, auditory, and kinesthetic elements can enhance memory and understanding, and you are able to actually engage all types of learners in the classroom. Right? So these are some tips that teachers, or some things that teachers can do to help forgetful learners. Okay. How about parents then? Parents play a vital role in supporting forgetful learners and helping them develop effective memory and organizational skills. So what you can do, right? You can create a structured environment. You establish a consistent daily routine with designated study times, meal times, and bedtime. A structured environment helps children anticipate what comes next and reduce stress as well. So you're also helping them to be a more organized learner. Try to use visual aids. Implement visual aids like calendars, checklists, and whiteboard to help children remember tasks and assignments. And visual schedules can provide clarity and reinforce organization. I've provided some example here. It could be as simple as just on a whiteboard to write to-do list and to indicate what are some things you expect the child to finish within the day. This helps them to trigger their memory and to also take note of whether they have completed the assigned task. All right. You could also have like checklist item. Like, for example, I have a sharpened pencil, I have a pen. So if let's say you are helping your child to pack their bag for next day, you could provide this checklist so that they can actually do a self-monitor and prepare the items for next day, right? So that they do not leave out or miss out anything for the next day's school. So these are just some examples, all right? Set up a homework space. So in order for students to retain retain what they are doing in their memory, you would want their attention. So you don't want them to get distracted. So designating a quiet, organized, and distraction-free area for homework and study really helps them to stay focused and to pay attention. And having a dedicated space for learning can improve focus and organization. So this includes having all the necessary writing material in the homework space so that they do not get distracted while looking for one, right? Provide encouragement and support. You can offer encouragement and emotional support. Praise your child's effort and progress. Emphasize that it's okay to make mistakes and that improvement is achievable. So try to have a growth mindset, right? And establish a homework routine. You create a consistent homework routine. So you set a specific time and place for homework, providing structure and predictability. So here, I've given you an example of a homework planner. So what are the materials needed for the particular assignment? How much time needs to be allocated? Where do they need help in? And and in the remark column is like, what have they achieved what they are supposed to do? Is there anything that they need help in? So the planner really helps them to break down several tasks and to be more organized before they get started. Okay, and most importantly, be patient and positive. You maintain a positive and patient attitude. Understand that improving memory and organization may take time, and setbacks are actually part of the learning process. Okay. Offer breaks. So this is very important. In order for a child to maintain their attention, they also need breaks in between because that's how much they can actually pay attention to. So this is a rough guide, all right, on how much time you can actually allocate for a task and when you should be actually providing breaks. So encourage short breaks during study or homework sessions because brief breaks can actually help maintain focus and prevent mental fatigue. So a normal attention span is about 3 to 5 minutes per year of a child's age. So for example, a 2-year-old should be able to concentrate on a particular task for at least 6 minutes. So that's the shortest attention span, right? So between 6 to 10 minutes for a 2-year-old. And let's say a child who's in kindergarten level should be able to concentrate for at least 15 minutes. So breaking down the task into smaller ones that can be completed within the duration of their current attention span will help them to better focus on the task that's assigned to them. So your students might find it easier to focus when long periods of classwork are broken down into smaller chunks. You might set a timer, have a student work on a task for 10 minutes, and then take a short break. So if the student takes one look at a full page of math problems and say, I can't do these, you cover up all the problems but one with a blank piece of paper, right? So seeing one problem at a time will help make the task seem more doable for the learner as well, all right? All right, so apart from the strategies that I've shared, these are some digital tools that I would recommend for students, all right, to monitor their own learning, all right, to ensure that they do not forget tasks. So to help students to stay organized and to avoid missing deadlines, there are several digital and physical tools that are available. These are just some of it that may actually help students to manage their assignment, the task, and deadlines better. All right, so if you look at digital calendars, Google Calendar, this is an online calendar tool that allows students to schedule assignments and set reminders. It can be accessed on various devices. Apple Calendar, so for Apple users, they can use the built-in calendar app, which syncs with other Apple devices too. Microsoft Outlook calendar feature is actually integrated with email and is widely used in professional settings, right? When you're looking at task management app, you can actually use the Todoist, okay? This app actually helps students create to-do lists, set deadlines, and also prioritize tasks. Okay. Another one, which is the Wonder List, which is now part of Microsoft To Do. This actually offers similar features to Todoist and is particularly user-friendly. So you may go and explore these apps that I've actually recommended. Trello, it actually uses a visual board format to help students organize tasks, to also assign due dates and track progress as well. So this is something that you can go and explore too. If you're looking at note-taking apps, especially like specifically for note-taking, you can try Evernote and OneNote. Evernote, students can use these to take and organize notes, attach documents, and also set reminders for tasks. OneNote allows for note-taking, allows to create lists and collaboration on tasks as well. Okay. For older learners, maybe you might look for assignment planner apps like My Study Life. It's designed specifically for students, and this app actually allows users to track assignments, their exams, and class schedules. iStudies Pro offers assignment tracking and a schedule planner and grade tracking as well. Okay, so this might be helpful for maybe older learners who have several assignments to actually complete. Okay, and if you're looking at time management app, Forest and Pomodoro might be helpful. So Forest actually encourages time management by allowing users to set timers for focus work. So the longer you stay focused, the more virtual tree will grow. So it's like you're actually trying to grow this virtual tree through focus work. So it's very encouraging and motivating for learners. While Pomodoro is based on the Pomodoro technique, where you're actually having chunks of task time as well as break time. So Pomodoro actually helps students manage time effectively with short, focused work intervals. All right. And apart from this, there are some desktop and mobile reminders. Both desktop and mobile operating systems like Windows, Apple, Android, iOS, they offer built-in reminder and notification features that can be used to set task deadlines and alerts. Last but not least, this is something that I use personally as well, which is digital sticky notes. Tools like Sticky Notes for Windows and Stickies for Apple users. It allows users to create digital sticky notes on their desktop or screen for quick reminders. So if you have to-do list, you can actually just put it on your desktop and then you can actually type down your to-do list so that you don't miss out on anything. All right. So you can go and explore these digital tools for your students. All right. You can actually explore it for yourself as well. And yeah, you can actually pick what works for you. Okay. So I've come to the end of my session, right? As we conclude, remember that memory is not a fixed canvas. It's a garden waiting to be nurtured. Together, we have sown the seeds of success for forgetful learners. So let's watch their memories bloom and flourish. And thank you for being part of this memorable journey, all of you.